To start with, right?
This
This is not a curriculum activity. This is only to assert a point. Okay? Because I think there is probably some confusion that we are teaching trigonometry or we are teaching mathematics. So what I am going to do now, right, is only for those who believe so. Okay, rest may not do it. Okay? What I am asking is, I am giving you some equation. Okay? Only to those who think we are teaching mathematics. Okay? Rest may not do it. But if you think we are teaching mathematics, try this out. Please listen.
Everyone should take a photo.
Okay? The value of this whole thing is
This is just a form for all of
okay? Only if you believe we are teaching mathematics. I'll write this again, okay? X sine y degree is equal to 171.137. Okay? If the value of x is 250, let me check once. Yeah, if the value of x is 250, what is the angle that we are talking about? Yeah, but what is the value of it? How do you know? Solve it on the paper. If y is 0, what is the value of sine? If sine 0 is 0, then how it becomes 171.137? Mathematics, right? This is what mathematics is. If you think we are teaching mathematics, this is mathematics. I have given this, I have given this, I am asking what is this? If we are teaching mathematics, solve this. See, sine is taught, right? I'll again repeat, okay? Solve this only if you believe we have taught mathematics. If the value of x is 250 and the value of the whole expression is 171.137, what is the degree that is passed to sine? I am not asking what is the value of sine of y. I am asking what is y. Confusing, right, to solve? See, understand one thing, okay? We are not teaching mathematics. Okay? That is why we don't expect you to solve this. If it is mathematics, right? Mathematics is a subject has special meaning. Just because something is written like this doesn't make it mathematics, okay? Try and understand this. Otherwise, this is a language. as a language in common terms mean, and I'll explain where mathematics starts. Otherwise, in which subject is the science taught? In which subject are the science books written?
English.
Now, will you open a science book and say this is teaching English? No, right? It is written in English. The whole characters are English. Teacher also writes in English. So why are you calling it a science class? Content is science, absolutely. Because you don't see in a science class that, oh, you know what, this whole subject is written in English. So then we don't need English subject. That is not the logic we use, right? It is completely understandable there is some inherent fear in the mind. At the moment we see sign, right, we think it is something mathematical in nature. It is not. And that is what we mean by a language and use of logic. What we are asking you to focus is, as part of this subject, is only a specific language, right? In which we talk about 2D coordinate systems, because computer understands 2D coordinate systems, and that is x. If you have a certain length, let's say 100, and you multiply it with a sine of, let's say, 30 degrees, the value that you get, this language is in another way, this whole language, right, such a shortly written language, is a precise way of saying when we move that is all. We are just studying two forms of languages. That's it. Okay? This means this. Sorry, nobody corrected me. This is Y. Y. In English we say, if you face in north direction and walk 100 steps, where will you be? On a 2D plane, if I hold a protractor and say, oh, this is 30 degrees, right? If I walk, let's say 30 centimeters or 30 meters in that direction, or 100 meters in that direction, where will I be? It's basically the same thing. So this goes here, this goes here. That's it. We are talking a language. Do not read it as 100 sine 30. That is the mistake we are making. We should read this as y after walking 100 steps in the direction of 30. What is x after walking 200 steps in the direction of 40? Sorry, in the angle of 40?
240.
Exactly. It's one language into another. It's a language class. It's how Sanskrit class is in 11th and 12th. Book is in Sanskrit, question paper is in English. Why? Because kids can't write in Sanskrit. Right? That makes it a scoring subject. Is this clear? Nothing beyond a language, just a language. because we need to use it often. If at all, whenever we spot a pattern in our English language, like we talked about, right? If we are saying face in the direction of face towards left, how will you say that in a computer language? What does it mean? Face by left means what? What changes? Angle. Where is the angle? But essentially left means what is the precise amount by which the angle changes? 180 is behind. 90, right? Face left. That's 90. So if I am facing like this is left. That's 90. Okay. It's just the language. You don't say left or right. You say either minus 90 or plus 90. Because that corresponds to angle. Right? So here, over here, this corresponds to steps and this corresponds to where you are looking. And this whole thing is telling where you would be. Good enough? Okay? Let us talk about contracts. But not like any mathematical term. Okay? Let us give it a slightly different twist. And this is a kindergarten story. Let us see how we can write that kindergarten story in the form of expression. And I am not going to write it. You all are going to write it. Okay? Listen to the story, okay? Story is very simple, it's just a bit too long. But not something which a nursery level school kid can forget. Because kids in my son's class, right, they were told this story and they had to present it in a competition. The story basically goes like this. Now listen to it carefully, okay? And if you want, take notes. I am going to not write. So how does the story go? Let me answer you better. Okay, is this better? Okay. So the story goes like this. There is a crow. Now don't ask me how poor crow speaks. Okay, but in the story he speaks. This is not a science class, this is a story class. So there is a crow who looks at a princess eating noodles. Okay? So the crow goes to princess and says, Princess, princess, I need noodles. Princess says, I am happy to give you, but I need water. So what does crow do? Crow goes to a river. It says, river, river, give me water. River says, I can give you water, but you first need to get a bottle. Not bottle, or basically, what do we say, a pot. Right, a pot. Now where will he find pot? So, yeah, he goes to a potter. This potter, give me a pot. Potter says, I can give you a pot, give me clay. Okay? Now he doesn't have a clay. So he says, he goes to a farmer. Farmer, give me a clay. Once you give me a clay, listen to the story, okay? Once you give me a clay, I am going to take that clay, give it to the potter. Potter is going to give me a pot, I am going to take it to the river. River is going to give me water, I am going to give it to the princess. And princess is going to give me noodles. Potter says, I can give you Sorry, farmer says I can give you clay, but I need milk. Okay? So what does he do? Yeah. So he goes to a cow and says, "Cow, give me milk." Now it has to end somewhere, right? Cow happily gives milk. Okay. Crow takes milk, gives it to farmer. Farmer takes milk, gives clay. Crow takes the clay, gives it to potter. Potter gives pot. It takes the pot, goes to river. River gives water. He takes water and goes to princess. And he gets. Now, how will you do the paperwork for this? Try doing it. Everyone did? Take 5 minutes. You need to do the paperwork. You need to identify all the contracts, all the functions here, all the contracts, and you need to put them in a single expression. That is telling the story in this language. We are telling a story as an expression. Can you identify values, functions, their contracts, and the expression? You need to identify values, functions, contracts, and their expressions in this story. Write your name, okay, on the paper. Yeah, you need to do it on the paper. Do it on the paper, take the photo. This will go on Prerna. I can repeat the story if you want. Completely. now you are serious. So, there is a crow. And crow, this is a talking crow. Okay? Remember what I said? Anything that we don't understand, right? Leave the part of problem solving. So, if you don't understand how crow talks, ignore it. Okay? So, the story goes like this. Crow sees a princess eating noodles. Okay? He also wants to eat noodles. So, he goes to princess and says, Princess, give me those noodles. Princess says, I can give you noodles, but I need water. He goes to river. Who goes to river? Crow goes to river. And asks river to give him water. River says, get me a pot. He goes to potter. Potter says, I can give you a pot, but I need clay. So he goes to farmer. Okay? Farmer says, I can give you clay, but I need milk. So he goes to cow. Cow says, I can give you milk. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, cow directly gives the milk because it's a very generous cow. Sorry, I was transactional throughout. And it has to stop somewhere, right? Otherwise it won't end. So cow gives milk. Somebody was listening to me carefully. So cow gives milk, takes the milk, gives it to farmer. Farmer gives the clay. Takes the clay, gives it to potter. Potter gives the pot. Takes the pot, goes to river. River gives water. Takes the water, water in a pot, and goes to princess. And he gets noodles.
Sir, but how does he take the milk? Sir, it is a game of input and output.
Anything we don't understand, we ignore. It's problem solving.
Sir, it is a game of input and output. Take the input.
Try.
Very good. Noodles by
The whole story in one statement.
The whole story is about the noodles, getting noodles.
Exactly. Whole story is about getting noodles.
Getting noodles. And input is so many things input.
So that makes the whole expression.
Yes.
Give it a try.
How many debts?
How many?
Debts of premises.
No, don't write the code. Just identify how many values do you see here, how many functions do you see, what is the contract of each of those functions, and the final expression.
Output is then water, then milk, then what is?
No, that you write, ma'am. You don't need to say, you write it. You write your version, let somebody write their version. That is fine. So would 15 minutes be okay for this? Write your name on the paper. Remember the story, right? So I don't need to repeat it. Okay, now the English story is gone. Now we are going to put our life in problem. So, how many values did you see?
Water, 5 and 5.
Let us start. Which one?
Water.
What about the crow? It starts with crow, right? Crow. Princess. Then? Noodles. Water. River. Then? Pot. Play. Farmer. Water. Milk. Cow. Is it? That's it? Play is here. Is everything here? Water. 11, right? Any questions why these are values? They are values because simply they are there in the story. The story is the world. They represent our world now. Is there anything else which our world talked about? No, right? Now, how many of these are functions? Why is crow of functions? What does crow take and so crow. What is the contract?
Contact number of
Oh, sorry.
water.
Let us first write contract. Right? So, crow take noodles. Gives water. Crow needs noodles for the story to end.
So princess.
The end is also one of the values. Now how many values do we have? 12. Okay. Crow takes noodles and gives the end. Otherwise the story won't end. It's like a hero. If hero dies, movie is over. Right? Then princess
Takes water.
Gives noodles. Then river.
Takes pot. Gives water.
Water. are the contracts.
Sir, cow use milk is something. Takes
Yeah.
milk there.
No, there is no gives.
My farmer will milk and cow will
That is what the contract is. Whatever comes here is what it gives.
Farmer takes milk.
पण थोडे farmer take milk आयला आणि cow will take milk किती जातं?
Farmer is whole thing. We need to know. Farmer gives milk giving clay. If you give milk,
Input is.
if you give milk, then it gives clay.
Cow direct.
Sir, what is the whole represent?
Crow means what it is for. What is the cow there for? What is the cow there for?
Give milk.
To give milk. What is the farmer there for?
To give clay and
It
take
just
milk.
doesn't give clay like that.
Take milk and give milk.
Farmer is there to take milk and give clay. But cow is only to give milk. It's like sun who's only there to give
थोडे
light.
farmer take milk जातं आणि हांगा cow take milk जात पडटा ते तशेंच लागता.
If there was something like this, right? Then it is the reading language.
So in that case, the crow also just takes noodles.
But then the story ends. It doesn't give anything, right? But then the story ends.
Start. Our story start.
Without shade also we have.
Without the end, you cannot because something happens to the system.
4 point take.
4 points simply means what is the cow there, or what is this part there for in the world? What is this part there for in the world? This is a name. This is what it is for. Separate the name from what it is for.
Farmer is for clay just sir.
For example, let us say if I have a milk bottle. Now I can call it a wool.
So, starting we read it as input and giving the output. That is the
That
reason
all
we are reading.
That is the confusion, right? That is why.
We are reading it as input and an output.
So that is why I had given both the examples. Always, right? That is why it is very, very important to be strict to the terminologies. Contracts mean what this is for. So it's a Lego, sir. Lego, sir. Magil. We'll get the Lego game and we'll talk about that, right? That will make it very clear. Contracts means what it is there for. I can give it for free, or I need something for it. But at the end, I am giving you something. I cannot say I am not giving you anything. Contract is what I give. Why you come to me? You will not come to me. माझ्या भुरग्याचा बर्थडे आसा गाणी खंयच्या म्हणया. Why you won't come to me for that? If you need to buy vegetables, you will not go to municipality. If you need a birth certificate, you won't go to supermarket. Why? Because the contract says so.
So थंय अशें आशिल्लें cow takes money and gives milk जाल्यार कशें करतले?
आणि मग ते milk.
Contract is always what it gives, but sometimes what you give has a condition. Some things are unconditional, right? Some things are unconditional. Something has a condition. What is the contract for the wind? It's unconditional. It gives. If there is a wind, you will have air. If there is a wind, you have air. There cannot be a situation that let there be wind. then I will do something and then I will get air. What is the contract of rain? Water. If you stand in a rain, you will get wet. No questions asked. Do not complain. Right? If tiger is hungry, and if you stand in front of them, what will you get? Eaten. No questions asked around there. Right? But have you seen this particular stuff that your bike also gives you an output, but it just won't give you an output. It would first take something. It need a petrol, it will need a acceleration, all that inputs. Just because you put a petrol, it won't start. Right? You need to tell how fast to go. Only then it will give. So some things are conditional, some things are unconditional. But it has to give. Everyone gives something. Otherwise, there is no role for having that value. Everything gives something. If somebody is just going to say, you know what, I'm just going to sit here and I'm not going to do anything, why is that thing in the system? Makes sense, right? It's like that. So understand the difference between this. Contract is always what it gives. Some things are conditional, some things are completely unconditional. Just like our recursions was. Forever recursions and conditional recursions. Just like that. But both are recursions. Right? So, looking at this, which of these are functions? Pro is a function. Princess is a function. River is a function. Water is a function. Farmer is a function. Is cow a function?
Yes.
Can be, but it doesn't take any input. If we go by that logic, right, milk is a function that gives milk. So I take out cow. Okay? Should we write an expression?
Yes.
So, we need the story to end. Story starts to end, right? But the story will only end when Crow gets the noodles, right? So Crow. Now take a look at this, okay? How should we write this? So take a look at this. I'll say Crow. What does it need? Noodles. Correct? So, but where will these noodles come from? Princess. This will come from princess. But princess takes something. Where will that come from? Where will that come from? This is not pie. Farmer wants milk, and that is given by. If you notice, right, everything points up, even this whole thing. Why? Because everyone gives. Each of this is a contract. This one. Just that this one has no further dependency. That's it. Now should we put this together and write a whole expression together? I'll rub the top part. Anyone want to take a photo? You can take.
The last one is cow. Cow will give me.
Yes. Come. Okay? I'll rub the top part, okay? Share the photos that you have taken because I'm going to rub the top part. So share your photos so everyone can have it. Ever had a men's class like this? So the way we start, right? We'll start from top. I see a bracket, I'll write the bracket. Then we'll go all the way down. And then we'll come all the way up. Okay? Completing the flow. So, start with CROW. Bracket. Then this. Princess and a bracket. Princess and a bracket. Then river and a bracket. Water and a bracket. Farmer and a bracket. Finally, I write cow. And once I reach cow, right, nothing is there to go below. So I'll only start going up and then I'll put the remaining brackets back. Right? So one bracket. This bracket for water, this bracket for river, this bracket for princess, and this bracket for crow. That's the whole story. The end. Take the photo, okay? Expression. This is also an expression. Just other form of writing. It doesn't matter how the crow is defined. Whether it draws or what, we don't know. But we need to know how those pieces go together. Everyone taken this?
Yes.
Now, another 10 minutes. Take your paper, write your name. Minutes later, again your paper will be taken, but listen what you need to do first. Okay? If you have done this, you can say that this is exactly what you did. Might be slight modifications here and there, that is fine. If there are slight modifications, mention your differences. For your reference, you have your photo with you. Right? The photograph that you have taken. But you are going to now write it. What is the difference from this solution versus what is the difference from the solution that you have written? If you have not got it, you need to tell us what was the point of confusion. And this is always the most difficult part. When we interview, right? We generally ask people, what is it that you know and what is it that you do not know? You know where people get stuck at? Where they do not know. Take your time, that is why, what should I do? 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you decide. Content is, if you have got the answer before, just mention the differences from the answer that you had versus the answer we got here. Just the differences, okay? But if you have not got it, mention why you couldn't get it and what was the point of confusion. And has any of that confusion been cleared now or not? That's it. Yeah, just that. This is not a test for you, okay? This is a test for me. If after doing this, you can identify what is it that you are not knowing before, mention it. That is helpful for me. Right? If after doing this, anything has become more clearer, you can mention that as well. Full 15 minutes for you and start the timer. And if something is not so clear still, you can write that also. Princess. What does the story expect from the princess? What is that? To give noodles. Correct. What does the story expect from the cow? To give milk. Right? Now let me ask you one thing, okay? Is Australia a continent or a country? It's both. Right? Keep that in mind, okay? Some things are both. Okay? How many other examples do you see like that? Is Delhi a state or a city?
Union.
Yeah. Is it a city or a union territory?
Both.
Okay. So, understand, few things can be both. Just like how it happens, right? Whatever happens, there is a language to represent it. Contract is always what I am going to give or why you should come to me. As simple as that. Contract is there to tell you why you should come to me. You would not bother to have a key if you do not have a lock to open. Is that right? If tomorrow the technology becomes cheaper and you can log in into your house just with a fingerprint, would you have a key? No, right? It is not the key that you are after. You just want to get inside the house. Isn't it? It's not like, I have the key. The door doesn't open. Fine, that's not a problem. I have a key. You do not want the key. You want to get inside the house. You want the access to the house. That is why you have a key. Without lock, key has no existence. Right? So understand one thing. There are conditions. And then there are what it is for. You go to that to get something. Right? That is all that it is for. The purpose why it exists is to do that. Okay? Confusion that we create is the language between this and this, how we read. The contract is always on what it gives you. Why would you use cow in the story? Yeah. And the princess doesn't ask for a cow, does she? Right? But the cow is still there in the story. Why? Because somewhere down the line, nobody is asking for a cow. Is anyone asking for a cow?
Milk is it.
Milk is is the milk that you need. But it just so happens it is not just found everywhere, right? So you happen to go to car. If milk was freely accessible, floating somewhere, would you go?
No.
It's like this. Oxygen is more precious than gold. Is it there? Is it right or is it wrong?
Right.
It is right. But why is there no price on the oxygen? Because you just get it. If gold was also available like this, it would have been just free. Like that, water is also just available, just that a clean drinking water is hard to find. But the clean breathable oxygen is still available. And if we are not careful, that will also have a price. Bisleri bottled oxygen.
In Delhi, there is price for oxygen.
There is price for oxygen at hospitals.
No, that is
Or liquid oxygen. Right? So that's how it is. So, this part, right, that colon, left side of the colon tells you where to go. Right side of the colon tells you why. You first look why you need it, what you need, and then where. You don't go and say like, आज municipality वचपाची इच्छा आहे. You say आज म्हाका birth certificate जाय. म्हणून municipality वता. तुमच्याकडे ऑलरेडी birth certificate असेल तुम्ही municipality वतली नाही. So it is always this.
So that is river is water, water is water.
Water is water. Then water is water. That is all you need. You don't want something else. The other example, right? You want to go to a bank, SBI, to get money. If you go to ATM, fine, put a card, you get it. If you go to SBI, they'll tell you it's lunchtime. Right? So there is something that you get, and then there are conditions. This part that you see over here, right, is conditions. Give me that, I'll give you what you are here for. I have it, but I'm not going to give it. River had water. Is it that river made the water? River had water. But how crow would have carried it? River didn't require pot. She said if you want to collect the water, you would need to take the pot. Otherwise, how will you take the... Isn't it? गिरणीर केन्ना पीठ दिला पीठ दिले वरून
No.
पोती घरा हाडली हाडपाक वतना पोतीच उरूंक ना तो म्हणतो आता कितें तुज्या तकलेर घालू थोडे गांवचे असतात ते तशे उलयताले जाणटे आसताले आमी भुरग्यांक सांगतात बाबा मातसो पीठ घेवन यो रे गिरणीर वचून भुरगो खेळटा खेळटा वता कित्याक आयला तो हांगा पीठ भरपाक बरें हें घे खंय घालू तेन्ना कळटा पीठ हाडपाक जाय पिशवी हाडपाक जाय There were jokes like this. So when the government banned plastic without telling the alternative, somebody said, "Plastic बंद केलं." There were memes, right? Plastic तर बंद केलं. आता चिकन आणलं काय सरळ कुकर घेऊन जाऊ. We were talking about a contract, right? So you need something, then only you will get it. So this is the condition. Everything need not be input. In this case, the river did require, it already had water. It was just not able to carry it back. So it was more like a condition. Take it, I will give it. Otherwise, you will not be able to take it. Right? It is always there. Take any story, you will always find a pattern like this. Now, the other aspect, is this part clear? Or is there a confusion now? Okay? This is an independent thing. It is like this, okay? If we say there is a difference between this, right? One is like a statement or an assertion. The second one is a question. Why?
Confusion.
Because of the symbol here. It's just like that. If I sort of not have this, it means what? You would get water and noodles. It is only to highlight that this is a condition. The part here is condition. And there will be more than one conditions. So it's only to highlight that. Alright? The other thing that came, right, is one contract was sort of written like this. What is that? One contract was written like this. Okay? Chances are some of you might have also written like that. Okay? The thing is, you need to understand one thing. Princess giving noodle is fine. But is princess asking for potter, farmer and cow? No.
It's asking indirectly.
Exactly. Only water. Instead of? Is crow asking for potter? Where? Crow. Okay. Is crow asking for milk? Is crow asking for milk?
Farmer want.
Only farmer wants milk, but not otherwise. Only because you need clay. Farmer is not going around milk. Farmer is there. Because you ask for a clay, he's saying milk. Right? Crow is not asking for milk. Crow is asking for noodles. That is the problem. If crow didn't want noodles, the story would directly have the end. Correct? Now that explains why it was actually crow, the end. But crow was not ready to end the story. He put a condition. Let me have noodles first. Only then I will allow the story to end. Right? See, crow had a power to start the story. And also the power to end the story. Right? Is it tea break already? So it's like this. Okay? Session. Okay? Can end.
Only
But none of you will allow me to end till you have I was writing an expression for you to go and have tea. There are few pointers we noted down around understanding of values, right? Is it still there? If you are asking what a value is, right? Value is everything that exists in your story or in the world that you are in. Everything. Not in the real world. In the world that you are trying to picture, everything that is there in it are values. But it has an implication, okay? Once you define what that value is, it cannot change. If somebody is reading the value at the beginning of the story, it should mean the same thing at the end of the story. You are getting it? If there was a value which was actually a square, which eventually after reading you understood it to be a square, but by end of the thing it turned out to be a circle, then it is not a value. It happens, right? Often you end up believing this one particular character to be a villain, and then suddenly there is a twist, and the hero was the villain. So here what changed? The villain changed. Villain is not the value here. But those characters were still the same. Right? Their attributes changed. So the villain, hero was not the value in this story. They should mean the same. Whether I am reading it here, whether I am reading it on the last page, whether I am reading it on the middle page, it should always mean the same thing. Get it? That is what values are. Everything that exists in the system, in the system that you are trying to picture, characters, their names, what they do, what they are there for, all of them are values. Because those will keep appearing again and again and again and again. Right? In real life, for example, that is why I said values do not exist in real life. In real life, if someone dies, that person has died. Right? But in Ekta Kapoor's story, the person may die and then he may come back. Okay? Not even Punarjanma. The same person comes back magically. Right? Everything has happened. Antim Sanskar and everything has happened. People have cried also. Audience has also cried. And then the person comes back. Okay? So, that is a value. You see that value never changes. Like that, like that. The other example of value is how women are dressed in those TV serials. They are always dressed as if they are going for a party. With full jewelry. Morning, while having food, while fighting with Saas Bahu, while sleeping also. They never do makeup. Their makeup is just there, right? You know, throughout. It's like that. The other thing, their facial expression, they never get tired throughout the day. While sleeping, they are as fresh as when they are getting up. Right? Those are values. They never change, but they are there. Right?
Because input is not taken.
So if one person has understood what values are, that person is Ekta Kapoor. And all the time we were saying, what is she doing, right? She was teaching us computational thinking. Now go and see, क्योंकि सास भी कभी बहू थी once again. Okay? So, is the idea clear now? Everything that exists in the system is a value. Just don't change it. If you mean this is, it is. It's like this. If you say tomorrow is a holiday, make it a holiday. Then don't come to work. Right? If you have decided to lose weight, do lose weight. Don't start eating cake. Right? So that is how it is. Values should be values. Okay? If you have a confusion on one topic, stick to the point that you have a confusion. Even after you get it. Otherwise it is not a value. Even if you get it, otherwise it is not a value. Because you can't change, right? Yeah, you cannot change. So, what should we do next? You saw the expression at the end, right? And the story. You heard both the sides. You heard the story, you saw the expression, you saw the contract. If you can see the expression and if you can tell that story, right? That is what we are looking for. That is the reading. You won't see once upon a time, you won't say this. You should basically see, you know what? That is a big long expression. So that crow actually required noodles. But he was not getting noodles. So, he went to princess. Because probably princess had noodles. Right? Princess said, I need water. So princess went to... Sorry, princess didn't go. Correct. So, now somebody, whether crow or somebody, approached the river. But that required a pot. So, water was brought into the picture. But water required clay. So farmer was brought into the story. Now farmer required milk. So there had to be a cow. In some version of the story, there can be a fridge and a milk bottle. You can replace it as long as you can get milk into the picture. Right? So there is a milk and then what?
Crow.
Now we have a milk, so we complete the whole story now. Going back all this. Right? That's how we can read it out.
To read the story, we want both expression and contract.
To read the story, we want
We should have both contract and expression.
Yes. To read the story, you need both expression and contract. Because the expression would be so big.
But in the expression, nowhere it is mentioned, the milk is not mentioned.
Milk is mentioned. In the expression, milk is not mentioned, so you need to look at the contract. Both we need. Both you need. Right? Alright? And the values is like the index page that you have on the book. Everything that is mentioned over here. Refer to, yeah.
First, we have to do contract, we have to see how values are.
First, you define all the values. There are chances while defining contract you will see more values. Like the end, right? We didn't recognize the end before. We realized it while writing the contract. It's not one after the other, but generally you will need to have. The other best example you can do this, right, is for all the recipes that you know. Okay? So let us do Maggi. Who wants to try it? You have 2 minutes. Write the expression, take the photo, upload it.
Actual Maggi also is not repeated to.
So 5 minutes, should we do that?
Yes.
5 minutes? Take the paper. Or 10 minutes. Is everyone clear what we are expecting?
Yes.
We need to cook a Maggi. Okay? A proper Maggi, okay? Not some fancy Maggi with all the other outside ingredients. Everything that comes in the Maggi pack, we will use it and cook a Maggi. Okay? So, let's make okay? Actually, I will give 15 minutes. I'll tell you why. I'll start the timer once screen comes into the picture. So you still have time. Values. Okay. Let us identify the value. So there is a Maggie packet, right?
Yes, yes.
So there is a packet.
Water.
So packet contains what?
Paste maker. Masala. Paste maker. And masala.
Noodles, masala pack.
Then we require a vessel.
Then you have broken Maggie. So noodles raw. Yeah. Then you have you need a scissor, right?
Oh my God. Sir, scissor also.
Scissor, but masala pack will contain masala, right? So this is the masala pack. And this is the masala. Okay. I will take one. There is an open pack. You may do it in some other way. That is completely fine. That's right. Okay, here. Teacher. See, somebody may cook it on gas, somebody may cook it on induction, somebody may put it in microwave. That is fine. That is fine. Masala. Then noodles broken. Naka, okay.
Yes.
Water there is a
Yes.
vessel. Pot. That's the pot. We'll reuse the pot. The previous one. So, water dispenser. Either a tap or whatever you can say. Move the picture in lens. So, then what? Not separately. And this cook This is wrong. We are not saying that. We are having a pack. That was the assumption. This is a masala pack, one thing. And this is masala. So from masala pack, I will take masala. Okay. Let us start writing, right? So, packet. I'm going to write it this way, okay? Take a look at now. So, packet. Okay? Now, packet has two items in it. What is that?
Raw noodles and masala.
What were you doing? there's two items in it. When something has two items in it, you can say get one, get two. What does it become? Sequence, right? Right? And you can say it contains what? Okay. Next. Masala pack. Masala pack. I directly say masala pack gives masala.
Yes.
Okay. Then, so I don't need scissor then. Take it off. Okay. Masala. Then, so water dispenser. Water dispenser. It gives water, but without just like that to flow the vessel. Pot. Okay. Then cook takes what? Water. Cook takes water. Masala raw. That is the cook process. Otherwise, we will need to say gas here.
But you will need pot also.
Yeah, I'll write that. So pot comes here, right? I could give pot and give me water. Or you can say pot in water in pot or something like that. Just like that, water cannot exist. So water, masala, noodles raw, and that's
So
going
you
to
need a
give me.
sequence over here also.
What is that?
Sequence.
I can give sequence here, but cooking process is not asking me for a packet. It is asking me for individual items. That is why I am not putting a sequence. And noodles. Right? Now yours may not match this, but as long as we are somewhat similar, it is fine. So how many functions do we see? Packet, masala pack, water dispenser, cook. And now how can we make an expression out of it? What we need? We need noodles, right? So we need to start cooking. Cook. But cook requires water, right? So it needs water here. That water is going to come from water dispenser. But water dispenser needs pot. Correct? So that solves the first set of input for us. Secondly, pot is a direct value. Secondly, what do we need? Masala. Where do we get the masala from? Packet and the first item in it. Sorry, second item in it. So this comes from packet. But packet is a sequence. So which?
So all this is without gas.
The cook process is the gas. Just keeping it like that is not cooking it. Second one. The second. I need masala, right? I gave water. I gave it the water. Now I need to give the masala. Where would masala come from? Masala comes from masala pack. So this one. Where would I get? Sorry. Masala comes from masala pack. Correct. Masala comes from masala pack. Masala pack directly gives me masala. Should I worry? Masala pack can give me a masala directly. Do I need to go to packet?
So first you have to put packet because you need noodles first.
But where will I get the masala pack from? Masala pack is here. So this also doesn't go.
Direct pack.
So I need masala pack. So I need to go to packet. Which item in the packet? I know, but which item?
Sequence 1. Sequence 1.
One.
So
Right?
can't they go together?
What is that? Will you put the whole packet in it?
So first you will add noodles, right? Do not put masala.
Yeah, full packet.
If you want to go by order, then yes, you need to change it here.
Yeah.
We'll go by order.
Change it, fine, there is no problem. I'll put it like this. Then I need noodles raw. We'll solve it again. What is noodles raw? I need noodles raw as the third one. Where is that coming from?
Packet 0.
Done. That's it, right? Now this was slightly complicated, right? Why did it become confusing? Too many variants.
Many inputs.
Yeah, but we were thinking all the inputs at the same time. It's not difficult. Difficult only means one thing. We are focusing on 10 different items at the same time. It's a feedback map. It is not that it is not going in the head. It is that we are focusing on multiple things and not one thing.
Sir, how to close that now?
So let us solve it, right? There is a contract. There is a contract. What do I need? Let us go slowly. Who is having a confusion, raise the hand. We'll solve in their style. Whoever has a confusion will solve. Who will go first? We'll do, right? We'll solve the confusion one step at a time. So what do we need? I'm asking a question. What do we need? Do not look here. What do we need? No. May not be, but probably they will have now after this solve. Forget all this. What do we need? Which one? This one or the raw one? Last one, right? What gives us the last one? Look at the contracts. No, what gives us this noodles?
Ready noodles.
What gives us this? Not this. You need this or you need this? That is this one. Is that right? You need this? Okay. As per the contract, where will you go? Any confusion there? Okay. Fine. I'll write cook. Okay. Now, cook is okay to give me that. But what is cook saying? Cook is asking for how many items? Okay. First, what is cook asking for? Look at the contract. Whatever is the contract, we will say that. What is there in the contract? What is cook asking for? Only focus here, ma'am. Do not try and by heart it, okay? Focus where your goal is. Because we need noodles, we saw here. Then where we need to go, not like this. What you need, so where you need to go. Now what do we need is the first item for? Water, okay? What gives us water? Correct? That is easy. So, water dispenser. So can we directly write water dispenser? Can we directly write water dispenser? Why is water directly available? If you directly have water available, directly put the water. But in this system, it is not directly available. I have purposely made it complicated. So now we approach it. That means we have not got what happened in the last session. No, see, there was a river accepting a pot and giving a water. So now why is there a confusion here? Forget what you did. I am giving you my system. How will you solve it in my system? Every system you can't build, right? Somebody will build a system for you. How will you solve that? Otherwise, it's not a problem solving. Problem solving happens when somebody builds a system for you. So let us start again. What do we need? Very, very basic question. What do we need?
Cook noodles.
Which of this is cooked noodles?
Last.
Okay, it's actually better if somebody comes here and solves it. Who would like? Anyone? You want to solve it here?
So for now,
Once you do it right, see. You know what I typed yesterday? Can you take out the WhatsApp and see what I typed yesterday? If you think, you will get confused. I am saying it again and again. Rather than following a process, all of you are trying to think. And as expected, right, all of you are trying to get confused. You are not trying to solve a process. You are trying to get overwhelmed by the problem. You need to approach the solving process. Focus on the process. If you just start writing whatever is the final expression, you will not get it. Okay?
sir, we prepare Maggi without masala first. Then we get masala.
You need something in the system, right?
No, there will be not much confusion. But we prepare with
Okay, so let us now say,
removing masala.
fine, so let us go one step at a time, right? Water is also directly available. That is also a good process. And then we'll take one of them. That's a good one. Now he is approaching a process. You saw what he did? He simplified it. That's a process. So, would you like to do it on the board, sir? Actually, it is better if you do it on the board. Because just otherwise, if we are thinking, somebody has to come on the board. Yeah, I'll help you. Let us always focus what do we need, right?
So the first thing that we require is ready noodles.
We need ready noodles.
So that is our output.
Yes. Which of those is ready noodles? Can you mark it?
One. So I'll circle it.
Yeah, sir. Okay. Now if this were directly available like in Swiggy, There's no problem, right?
How we got it? Cooking.
But Swiggy is down. And we have a masala packet at home. So what do we need to do? Swiggy is down.
Question comes here is how did we get this?
How do you get it? That is what you need. Where do you get it from? From cooking.
Masala packet. Masala packets.
See,
No,
that is
it is
simple.
understood that we got this from after cooking. So how do we get it?
No. Now, here we are introducing more terms and we got it after cooking. Now we should start looking at the contract. That is why we are writing contracts. Right? So we need that. Now forget everything. Forget the process that is there in your head. All that exists is this, and this. What we need is here. Where to get it is here. What is the condition to get it is here. We did that, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's try. You need noodles, right? So if you need noodles, where will you get it from? Here, from here. You don't need to look at that. Here. Correct? Not bread. No, just directly bread. Okay. Okay? Now it requires 3 items, correct? Let us say 1, 2, and 3.
Don't close it now.
No, let us close it. Let us close it.
So
1, 2,
1, 2,
and 3.
and 3.
So you have just given them some names. What is 1? Yeah. Can you write here? 1. No. Put 1. Eventually we'll replace it. Write 1. What is 1? Okay, fine. So you need water. You somehow need to get water. How do you get? Where do you get water? Contracts. Do not ignore your contracts.
Okay, so water dispenser.
Water dispenser.
Water dispenser.
Where do you go to get the water? Water dispenser. Yeah, so write water.
So right here. So I erase 1.
No, keep 1. After that you can write water. Okay, water dispenser. So water dispenser directly gives water? No. What does water dispenser ask for? Pot. So you put bracket. And it will give a pot, right? So put P. It's a shortcut because pot is not directly available. Fine? We can close it. Now, so you can put P. We have not yet solved for the water. We need water. We have not yet solved it. We still have unknown here. P. So, yeah, P. Now, where do we get the pot? It's directly available, right? So, it's directly pot. You can say pot. Pot. P-O-T. No. Pot. P-O-T. Pot. Yeah, directly. Pot. Correct? So, pot is directly available. Next. So, we have solved for 1. Okay? Next. What are we solving for? We have done this.
The second masala.
Masala. Yeah. What is? Who gives us masala?
Masala pack.
Correct. So maybe you can say MP. Okay, but MP is directly available? Where do you get masala packet from? The packet. Correct. Because masala pack is here. So you need to get into the packet. Correct. So MP. We can put MP here. Just keep written that. Don't keep saying MP. And MP is what? Packet. Yeah.
So pot water, no? Pot water.
No. Easily available.
T goes here, pot goes here, and that gives you the water dispenser.
Write the input for pot.
Okay. Let us just do one thing, okay?
Ah.
Forget Maggie. Forget Maggie here. Right? So let us simplify one step at a time. Forget Maggie, okay? I need masala raw. How do I get masala raw? Just tell me that. How do I get masala raw? Who gives me masala raw? Packet. So I need masala raw So I will say this right, okay? MR. I need masala raw. How do I get masala raw? Who gives me masala raw? Packet. Right? So packet gives me masala raw. Noodles raw, sorry. Or masala raw, whatever. Masala raw. But is it directly giving me masala raw? Is packet directly giving me masala raw? No, right? So I need to put a bracket. Now, how do I tell packet what is packet asking for to give me masala raw? What is packet? Packet directly will give me?
Raw noodles.
Take a look at this. What have I said? What is it?
Raw noodles and masala.
It has two, but I need only masala raw. How will I take only masala raw from packet? What? One. Why is it one? Because it has two things in it. Which item do I need? One.
We have defined it, that's why.
Yeah, we have defined it there.
Yeah.
Okay? Let us solve for another one. I need noodles raw. How will I get it? Who gives me noodles raw? Why? It is written on top. Contract. Right? I need water. Okay, I need a pot. P. It's directly the value available, right? So pot. Okay? I need water. W. Water dispenser. Does water dispenser directly give me? Directly, does it directly give me?
No.
No, right? It requires pot. Do I have pot?
Yes.
Is that correct? Now what is next? So what gives me noodles? Cook. 3 inputs. What does it need? Which is water here? This, right? Water. I'm directly typing it out, okay? Dispenser. Pot. Comma. Next, what is the second one? Masala. Where is masala? This one. Packet 1. Then raw noodles, which is packet 0. Done? Should we solve it again? We can solve it as many times we need.
Last one we find out the expression.
Down one is the expression.
So in the previous activity, that cow princess, under cow bracket princess, and princess wants water inside that. Why did you wrote water?
Because princess asked for water.
Here also water dispenser is asking
For pot.
You wrote over here.
Yeah.
There you didn't wrote princess asking for water. In bracket.
Princess was asking for water. Here pot was directly available to me.
That's why you wrote for.
Yeah.
Bracket.
The pot, there princess was not asking for water, but water was not directly available.
Here it is.
That example is here. That example is here. See, you are going for water dispenser and giving a pot. So water is not directly available.
What is that?
Pot is directly available. Water dispenser is directly available. Water dispenser can give you water.
So The milk was directly available.
Milk was directly
So
available.
cow, after cow you should have got milk over there. It is directly available.
Did cow ask for milk? Cow came because you required milk. You are not looking, you are not reading the contract. We are not reading the contracts.
Just comparing.
Do not compare. That had a different
What is the
contract.
difference in both? I am just comparing.
So compare that contract versus this contract. Then you will come to know. So, share this again. Let's solve this once again. So you know where the confusion probably lies is that in a sequence. So let us say, I'll change the way contracts are written, okay? Then let us see whether that solves the problem. Let us say my contract was take a look at this, okay? Packet underscore 0. See the contract, okay now? Packet underscore 0 gives me what? Noodles raw. Okay? Packet underscore 1 gives me masala. Okay? Pot gives me pot. Now, can you compare this with what we had? Is this comparable to what we had? Now how will things fit?
कडे एक पॅकेट अशी आहे आणि तो नूडल्स अगेन इट हॅड अ पॅकेट.
Let us solve one step at a time. Okay, let us solve one step at a time. For now, right, let me simplify. Let us say, okay, here, teachers, let us do some magic. Possible only in the world of computers, not in real life. Okay? Over there, we had one simple situation. Everyone was taking at most one input. And now here suddenly there are contracts which take 3 inputs. Let us take off one. Let us go step by step, okay? I have cook taking water, giving noodles. Magic. No. I'm making a magic. For now, I am saying cook is going to give you, just like see, princess didn't ask for raw noodles. She said, give me water, I'll give you noodles. Isn't it? So I am simplifying it now. So, cook asks for water and gives noodles. How will you now write this? Is it still a confusion? Is what I am asking for. Doesn't matter. See, if contract says so, right? Contract says so. Now we are crossing the border.
For this,
Doesn't matter how.
we need only one. The requirement is only one.
Only one.
Only one. And
Somehow magically you get the noodles. Why does it matter where he gets it from?
And there the requirement was 3.
There it was 3. We'll do it. We'll add one by one. Now I've just made it just like how it was before.
Huh.
Now what is the confusion? आता असा?
ना.
Is this okay, ma'am? Okay? We'll solve this exactly how we did it before. Okay? Cook. Why? Because we need noodles. So I go to cook. What does cook need? Where does water come from? This water. This water is here. Where should I go? Water dispenser. Water dispenser. Okay? But water dispenser requires? Where does pot come from? Pot. Is this okay?
Yes.
Pot is available. So now I'll expand it. Cook, bracket, water dispenser, bracket, pot.
Pot.
Now go all the way up.
हाँ.
Is that right? Or did I put extra one?
Two brackets.
Just one, right?
No.
How is this different, ma'am, than the previous one? Same?
Same, sir.
Same, right? Fine. Now, what I will do, take a look at this, okay? I would say, cook water is already salt. I'll now introduce one more problem and I will change this and introduce one more new situation there. Okay? But I will change it slightly. CW, see, CW is what I already have here. Cook with water. Or we'll just simply add it here. What should I add?
Raw noodles.
Masala noodles raw, right? Noodles raw. Now what changes? I have solved this one, okay? I have already solved this one. I have magically taken off one item. I solved this, I got that expression. Now what?
Raw noodles inside a big packet. Packet 0.
Can I close this bracket here?
No, sir.
Why?
Comma.
But this part is done.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So let us focus here. Why? Because we need noodles raw. Where is noodles raw coming from?
Big packet.
Contract. Packet underscore 0. Packet underscore 0. That was the name. Correct? Now, technically this should end here.
Yes.
And I can actually complete it also. So now this expression I will write once again. Okay? Start. Cook, brackets,
Water dispenser.
water dispenser,
Pot.
bracket, pot,
Close bracket.
close bracket,
Comma.
comma. So this line is there, so comma.
Packet underscore.
Packet underscore 0.
Close bracket.
One more, sir.
One more is there.
Why?
No, pot is in the bracket. Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Done.
correct.
Packet 1. Masala.
Done?
Without masala.
You need to experiment, right? So I have magically taken a few items and I am putting it back now. Is this solved? Okay. So now I will finally change it and say masala raw, giving me noodles. So I will again change this last bracket to third one. Where is this coming from? See, rest of the things are solved. Where is this coming from? Packet underscore 1. Now I'll rub the whole expression again and let us write it. Cook,
Open bracket.
yeah,
Water dispenser.
water dispenser,
Open bracket.
yeah,
Pot.
pot,
Close
yeah,
bracket. Comma. Packet underscore zero. Comma.
comma,
Packet underscore one. Close bracket.
सर कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट पोटाची सकल मसाला पॅक आणि मसाला कित्याक बरयला परत
मसाला पॅक दिवस मसाला
यूजच करू ना
ते नाका न्ही
ते नाका कोण दिवपाचे
ते receiving ना ते.
that is why you are not supposed to read the whole thing. I look here, I need this, I find it here, I go here, whatever I need I will look here, only then I will find the item. Now how is this different from what we just did previously? It's exactly same thing. Only thing that I did was take a look at that, okay? Packet underscore 0 and packet underscore 1. Okay? If I just put a bracket around it, right? It's basically the same thing. You know what happens? The moment we see sequences, right, we get scared. What is that sequences? But we will aram se say shape 1, shape 2, shape 3. Right? But if I need to say shape of bracket 0, shape of bracket 1, shape of bracket 2, then we'll get confused. It depends on how you are reading it.
Now I want one change. Instead of masala raw, just take masala in the cook in contracts.
Okay?
Okay, only masala. And then masala pack is there, no? Make it masala raw. Then how you sorry. Yeah, make it masala raw. Masala
Make
pack
this-
change into a masala raw.
Masala pack
Remove pack and no, remove pack. Remove that masala pack. Only pack you remove.
This one? Okay.
Only pack. No sir, only pack you remove. Masala
This
raw.
pack, hold on.
Masala raw gives masala.
Masala raw
Gives masala.
use masala.
And here in the cook,
Okay?
only masala, not raw.
Okay.
Yeah. Now how will you solve?
So I need masala.
Yes.
Where do I get masala from?
No masala raw.
No value only.
What I look here?
पॅकेट झिरो
And
पॅकेट
masala raw you will get from packet zero.
Same thing, right?
Same thing. Will you say?
Same thing. Gives it the same thing.
First and last we have to solve. First and last.
Yes. First and last.
Good and bad. In between we don't want anything.
You are going by the path, right?
Masala raw and masala pack. Okay.
Because you don't have it. You need masala, but you don't have this. So you go somewhere where you will get it.
It's like packet zero is equal to masala raw is also equal to masala.
There's a path you take. Is this better? Should we do more? No, if we proceed without this, right, for doing anything, then there is going to be absolute confusion. It is very, very critical we read the contracts first. Okay?
So let's prepare the menu.
Let us do something else. draw, let us say that we have a shape, okay, in which we can fill a color and that we can rotate also. Forget the normal pictures and everything, okay. Let us only write some values and some contracts, okay. Let's start from contracts. Okay?
So problem is what?
We have some shape, we want to fill a color and we want to rotate it. Okay? This is not normal pictures, okay? I am writing my own contracts. This is the game of contracts. Forget pictures, forget Pojo, everything else. Okay?
Shape.
So I have a shape. And shape gives me, let's say, picture. Now when I say picture, just remember that this is some value. Do not bring Pojo into picture. Okay? Shape. Now I have a rotation. Rotate. Okay? Rotate
Degree.
requires a picture and angle. Angle. Okay? And gives me picture. Okay? Fill takes a picture and color and gives a picture. Okay? Then draw takes picture and says done. What about the angle and the color? Angle input gives us angle and color input gives us color. Which color, what doesn't matter. Which color, what doesn't matter. Okay? Understand what we need. Okay? First, there are two parts to the exercise. Again, take the page and we'll do it in two parts. Okay? First, we just draw the picture. Only picture. Just draw. Because picture is also directly available, right? There is something that directly gives us a picture. What is that? Shape. So can we directly draw? Focus here.
Paper, sir.
Problems? 2. Activity, okay? 1. Write expression. 2. Draw the shape. Okay? Write expression to draw the shape. Draw the shape filled with color draw the shape filled with color and rotated by angle. 3 activities. Should we proceed? Not selected. So, okay. Very well. So, what I have done is I have made 4 categories. Those who did 2 got all 2 right. Those who did 3 got all 3 right. Those who did 2 got partially right. Those who did 3 got partially right. Okay? And I'll take the names. So they get teachers. Whether that is lucky you or that makes you unlucky, you decide. Okay? So 2 in done 2 got 2 right.
Yesterday's I'm written. Which is that?
Exactly right.
This
Shamal
was already
Kaur
over. Before lunch, it was to be submitted.
and Manjusha Kare.
Manisha teacher is Manisha.
Shamal, you got it right. So, in done 2 got 2 right, there were 2 entries. I don't know what kind of mathematics is this. This is done 3 got 3. Okay? Done 3 got 3 right, have 3 entries. How did that happen? So, Nadia Sheikh, Mohsin and Mayur Dravi. All 3 right. Taka sample. They should tell.
No, that should not be the award, sir.
Okay, that is the punishment. Okay. Done 2 got partially right. Sonali. Sonali ma'am. There. Right? Partially right. So partially right means there is a slight error. Done 3 again, right? Done 3 got partially right again, there are 3. Okay? Tejasvi Naik. Manjusha ma'am. She is the one who always feels this is so confusing. And yet ends up doing it right. So there is a saying, right? Probably once you understand a lot more, right? It confuses you a lot more. I'll mention. And Rishma ma'am, Rishma. Done 3 got 3 partially right. So from done 3 got 3 right, who would explain? There are just 3.
Newcomer.
Yeah, you can. Want to explain, sir? Yeah. Out of which only one teacher has documented the entire process correctly. Nazia ma'am. The entire process done exactly and correctly. You can do your method, then she can explain. Not a problem. Should I turn the lights off? Just check the pen, okay? Or I think you can use this pen. So that is light. Should I turn the light off? If that makes it visible. That's it. Better? No?
So the pen is quite good.
Pen is good.
The
Okay.
pen is
Only shape you can draw. To draw the shape.
First
You
one.
want
Draw the
picture.
shape. Only the shape.
First one, you want picture. To get the picture, you have to go for shape. So, what you want? Picture. No, I am not. Expression nothing start करो ना.
He is matching the contract first. He is following the process.
For you to understand. Then I will write the expression. So you want only picture. What we have to call shape. So for expression for this degree, draw
Next one. No, ma'am, you have to do. See, eventually you have to do anyway. So better do it right now. Alright, please. Mayur sir, you will go third. Rather than remembering the answer, right, try and see the process. Okay?
second question, draw the shape filled with color. First thing what we need, draw.
Listen, everyone.
Correct? So first thing, what is the contract? Draw picture. Same thing. Draw picture. What type of picture we need? Fill picture. What fill contract gives us? Picture. Ultimately we need a picture. So this picture over here we need fill. Now what fill requires? Picture and color. Right? Who will give picture? Shape. So over here, shape. Who will give color? Who will give color? Coloring. So coloring. Now let's combine. So what is the first? Draw. Over here what we have? Fill. Now what we have? Shape. Then fill needs next coloring. So this bracket with this cross the bracket with this. That's that. Done, sir?
Okay?
Yeah. What are missed?
What's the mistake?
Yeah.
People were not reading the contract. Rest everyone, it is very clear. People were not reading the contract. It became picture dot draw, then fill, then shape getting dimensions. Everything happened in the world. Right? Except the contract. If contract doesn't need it, you shouldn't think why or how. Contract doesn't need it, it doesn't need it. And if the contract needs it, you cannot ask why. You have to give. Okay? Mayur sir, third.
तर third पेपर आता बाकीच्या काय माहिती
We got enough data. We'll do more. We'll do more. Exactly, that is the point.
The point is we need to know how to write that
Contract.
Third question is
Listen.
third question is draw the shape, fill with color and rotate it by angle. So half the portion is already done. Draw the shape, fill with color, right? So we just need it to rotate by angle. So if you see the first half, fill shape, it is of picture, comma color. The contract is picture, comma color, and we want rotate, right? So rotate is also picture, comma angle. So what we can do is instead of this, both are giving picture. So rotate.
Picture comma angle. Right first picture comma angle. Right first picture comma angle. Then you replace that picture into field.
That picture.
First write the contract.
Full contract, right? So I have just replaced that.
Just check the contract once.
Field is not
Now that picture,
I will replace it.
that picture
you don't write that coloring part.
coloring will
That
run
you don't
over
write.
there, no?
Sorry.
Picture.
Okay. So what I have done is it was field shape, no? Shape is of picture. So shape is giving picture, right? And rotate is also giving picture. So I can replace it. So I have replaced that shape with rotate contract. Okay. So now rotate is picture, comma angle. Now in place of picture I can write the shape, and in place of angle input.
Thank you, sir. So, the other way to do this, right? I'll explain one more method to do it, okay? Provided you are reading the contracts. Okay? Is to convert a contract into a tree. झाड़ का रखते हैं. Okay? Because drawing it helps. Then we can build an algorithm around it to maintain these all things. Should I rub this?
So the contract of draw is only picture, right? So
Yes.
that in that second one.
Contract of draw is only picture, correct?
Yeah, second one.
Yes.
Draw, field, shape, color input.
Correct.
Where the shape is there again, the shape is rotating.
Fill will give you only picture.
Fill also gives you a picture. That is why what I was saying, I'll rub this, okay? Everybody has the problem, right? The mistake which many of us do, right, is this. We focus a lot on this part and not on this part. When you are looking at contracts, always start from the ending side, not the middle side. Do not look at the conditions. Conditions is not what it gives. Do not remember why you went there. So, it's like this, right? Solution to mile to question kya tha pata nahi. If you focus a lot on condition, you will eventually forget why you were there in the first place. Okay? So by tree, I essentially means this. You write a contract, and if it demands something, right, draw lines from there. So, what do we need at the end of the day? Right? So I'll write all those contracts, right, in a form of a tree diagram. So diagram goes like this. We have a draw, and draw contract asks for a picture. Okay? What is the second one? As long as there is a picture available here, it will draw. Which is the second one? Shape. Does shape need any input? No. It's directly a picture. Okay? What about rotate? It takes two. Right? One is a picture, and the second one is angle. Okay? Then fill. It also takes two. Okay? So it takes picture, color. Okay? Then angle input. There is also a direct, and then there is a color input. Okay? What you follow, what you draw with these lines, right, are its inputs. But what about draw itself? So draw is done. Shape is picture. Rotate is picture. Fill is picture. Angle input is angle. And color input is now over here, right, better than that, you can clearly see. Now does all the contract look same? See, these ones and these ones look same. Fill gives picture, right? Fill gives picture, angle input gives angle, rotate gives picture, shape gives picture. Done. Now I just need to connect these lines to its right position. Substitution. What is the very first one? Let us solve that. Draw, shape. So we need a draw, right? We need a draw. Take a look at our, okay, but it has one input. Okay? And it is asking for what? Asking for picture. So I need to find something that is a picture to put here. where else can I find the picture? I can find it with shape, I can find it with rotate, I can find it with fill. But shape is the one which gives me without requiring anything else. So I can use shape directly. So shape. Okay? And the way to use this, start from the topmost one. Okay? Draw. And if there is a tail to it, open a bracket. Okay? Whatever comes down, right? Try and write that. Shape. And then keep going up till you reach draw. So how many steps do I need to now do to reach till draw? One. So I close it with one. Right? That is the first one. Is this clear? We'll do one more. Put it up. Let us do the second one. Slightly more complicated. What was it?
Draw shape and it will color.
It did say draw. Yeah. Say draw shape filled with a color. Right? So draw. But draw needs a picture. Now where will I find the picture? If I directly give a shape, right, I cannot fill it with a color. Because shape directly gives me picture, I put it here, no color options left. Is there any color option? If I put a shape here, it doesn't have a further line down for me to fill a color in. So how will I fill the color? So I cannot directly use a shape. Right? So what do I need to use? Fill. Fill, see, this needs a picture, fill is a picture, I can connect them too. So fill. But fill has two lines. Picture and color. Sorry, not picture and color. Their picture and color is here. Sorry. This is the picture and this is the color. Now, I need to connect this to a picture. Right? There are two ways I can do it. One is right, because I don't need to rotate or anything, right? So I can directly put a shape. Correct? So I write shape. And then there is a color input required. So where is the color coming from? Where is this color coming from? Who's giving me this color? Color input. So I'll say color input. Let us put this in an expression. Start with draw. Does it have a tail?
Yes.
So, open bracket. Correct? Then, what comes? Fill. Does it have a tail?
Yes.
See, I am here, okay?
Yes.
Not where I am. Fill. So, it has a tail?
Yes.
Open bracket. Shape?
Shape.
Directly shape, right? Right? Does it have a, does shape has any tail? No. So, I will not put a bracket around shape. Okay? But, now I am back, but I am not yet crossing the fill. If I cross the fill, I will put a bracket close. Right? I am not yet crossed because I still need to trace this path. So I put a comma. So I am now here, okay? I am in this side now. Color input. Correct? Here. Now there is nowhere else for me to go. So I will climb up and I reach till fill. So from where I had started. So I put a bracket. Okay? And then from here I have nothing else to go. So I will climb till draw and put a bracket. Right? Let us do it together. Okay? So once the contract has given you how many tails it can have, right? Do not argue with the contract. Why I cannot use another tail? Draw as one line. That's it. Okay? So obviously we need to draw because we want to draw. It has only one line. What is it searching for? So we need to rotate and fill. Keep this in mind. Okay? Rotate and fill. We need to search for a picture. The shape also gives me a picture. Now if I put a shape here directly, the problem is there is no second line for me to give a color. There is no second line for me to give a rotate. Even shape doesn't have any other line. So I cannot put shape. Right? So I need to search something where I can put at least one of the two inputs or both the inputs. Is there anything like that? No. I can give only one input at a time.
Fill.
So let us start with fill. Fill. Fill has two. Okay? Picture. Now this side is picture. Okay? Now fill is going to take the color. Correct? But if I give a shape here, then I cannot go further and give an angle. So I give rotate. Now rotate also has two. So rotate is shape. Then angle input.
And color input.
Color input. Done?
Yes.
Done, right? So let us try writing it, right? Now, here is the process. Start with draw. Draw has a tail.
Yes.
So, bracket and count down. Put bracket and this is like that long division method. Put a bracket and आम्ही म्हणतात नाही एक जरा like dot घालायचं सगळे लिहो. So put a bracket, come down and write what is there. Fill. Fill is a bracket?
Yes.
Okay. So, write the bracket, come down. Do not come down unless you put the bracket. Okay? Rotate. Rotate as a line below? Yes. So, bracket
Shape.
and come down. So that makes it shape. Shape has a line below? No. So I end it, I try to go up, but I can't go up. Right? Because another one is there. So I need to put a comma and go to the next one.
Angle.
So it says angle input. Angle input has anything below?
No.
No. Right? So I try to go up and I can actually go up. Right? And this is where I go back to rotate. I had come down from rotate, I am reaching back to rotate. That means I close the bracket. Right? Now from here I try to go up, but I can't. There is another line obstructing me. So I need to come down again, but before that I put a comma and come down. What do I see? Color input. Now after writing color input I can go up and I reach again the point I started from. So I put a bracket. Now I can again go up. There is nothing that is preventing me. I can go up, again reach the point I started from.
Sir, there is means this expression we can write in another form, no? Means draw, rotate, and then fill.
Yes. So you can put rotate here. This whole thing moves here, and the fill and shape and color input goes below. Depending on which path you take, you get a different expression, but output will be the same. Right?
Draw. Color.
Okay? Good enough? Should we do more?
Yes, sir.
Which one? What should we do now? Everything is done.
Scale. Sir.
Okay. What else should we do? What other content should we do? Okay, let us do more. Let us do stack. Okay? Stack is a contract that takes a picture, okay, and a picture and gives back a picture. That is a stack. Okay? Circle gives a picture. Rectangle gives a picture. Okay? Scale takes a picture, scale and gives a picture. Okay? Scale input, gives scale. Would you draw the pictures for them or should I draw the pictures for them? Okay, so the problem statement then. I'll make it more complicated after. Who wants to do it on the board? Ma'am. Manisha ma'am is coming. She'll do the next one. Okay, listen. Manisha ma'am is teaching us. Manisha ma'am mic लगाना sir. पाठोपाठ 5 दिवस तिने जीएसिंग शिकायला.
आपण देऊ.
Okay, listen. There,
Picture paper.
So one picture we have a rectangle
फोटो में नहीं था
and the other one is filled one, filled circle. So this will give us picture and color.
नाव ही घालू ना इसका
We have to change the fill. One is picture and the the color. So color input will give us color. So here color input. And here the circle. So we have to write the expression here. Draw. Then the same. Okay, then comes here rectangle. Then again comma. This side fill will come in the bracket. Then this circle will come. Comma. Color input will come. And then we have to close the bracket. This one, then this one, lastly of the step. This is the expression.
तुझी जाल्यार ना हॅशटॅग जशी स्क्रीन पर्टिक्युलर म्हणजे काय करणार
Should we do the next one? Yeah? Understood one thing, okay? It will feel slightly complicated, but it is not, because the contracts are not changing. How many things go in that contract? There is only one that will make a difference. Look at the output that is going to come now and think what is happening there. Focus only on you. If after trying it on the computer, if the circle goes wrong, you need to put it in the other. But here we don't know. So this is more about logically putting it correct. You need to draw. Because you need to draw, you have to see what draws. But then draw says give me a picture. I will draw, but give me a picture. So you go and try and find out who gives you picture. And so on. If somebody just wants a picture and no drawing, then draw one picture. Then you in this one there was no skill factor. You will have an example later on that will have it. Okay?
So just extend the time because the solution is given and the papers are coming in now.
So, here is the one. Teachers, a slight difference, and that looks like this. Maybe it doesn't look like that. Which one is that? There is no scale.
But output should be like this.
Output should be like this.
Two rectangles.
There are two rectangles. One circle. That is filled. You solve it first. I'll start the timer in some time, then you solve it finally on the paper. Mixed technique. Do not think of closure. The contract says true. Yeah, contract says true. Do not argue with the contract. It's like a law. and you will see some code you will not understand. On purpose. That is why I put up a message yesterday. There are parts, always. See, we cannot always say, right, we are going to teach you problem solving. Do it like this, do it like this, do it like that. Always you will face challenges which you have not heard of or you don't understand. What to do then? How would you approach it? Well, there are parts which we do understand. There are parts that can make sense, but we don't understand. And then there are parts which we don't understand at all. We should at least start somewhere, right? How can we start? Well, we should probably start from the parts we do understand. And try and see whether changing the parts we do understand, right, can slowly make the change that we need possible or not. Okay? So, what we are trying to do, we know how to do this, right? We already know how to do this. I am not that generous to leave it to that. What we are trying to do is this. Yeah. Now let's do it. So, sometimes some expressions are so, problem solving, right? Oh. Can you are going to do it in 3 steps, okay? Take the papers please. Papers. Okay? I'm playing the animation again.
Paper game. Teacher Maya paper.
Looks difficult, right? Yeah, it is. But, fine, so this looks difficult. Don't think about the code, okay? Can you guess? There is only a limit to what we can be precise, right? Write your name as part of step 1. Write what it tells you. What do you think is happening here? You write it. You don't need to tell. You write it. I'll play it as many times as we want. But this is the part 1 of it.
Forever.
Any observations you can make, right? Around possible thing like what distances do you see or anything, right? Just note any observations you can make out. Notice and wonder.
They are already familiar with notice and wonder. The same level.
Right? You can discuss, okay? You are going to write individually, but you can discuss. change in the code? No, right? Let us simplify it up. Okay? Yes, you have to write your observations on paper. Notice and wonder. Now what I am doing is, I am going to show you another video. Okay? In which, how many points were there in the previous one? 5. I hope you have noted those things down. Right? I have taken off remaining 3. I have taken off 3 points. So it reduces the clutter of information that goes in the head. Because when we are looking at all the points, right, we are looking at it like a shape. So we are making it a simple 2 points and a line. And probably see if that gives us more details on what is happening. Okay. Yeah? Doesn't matter. Now with 2 dots, how many more observations you can make?
The first activity, this side point is to 1.
The hint is, all I've done is, let me show you. I've just taken off other points and kept only 2 points. I've kept only this and this point. Right? But what is happening is exactly same as this. Nothing much. Not your observation. If you think it is becoming longer, you can note it is becoming longer. I'll just make one hint, okay? We are thinking about it in terms of lines. Probably we should not think about everything as lines. What is happening with vertices? You think so? Write it down. I'll play it. I'll keep playing it again. Notice properly and write it down. are going in the exact same speed.
They meet the alternate points.
Okay? Done? Documented? Doesn't matter. I'll show you all three. It's just adding more details to it, to the observation. Right? This is the last one to make an observation. Okay? Just the same line. What do you think about those 2 points? It's not 1 and minus.
100 and minus 100.
We are thinking, but how do you say that?
Yeah, the points on the circumference.
One side is the circle is within 100 side is
But it is not going touching minus 100. And it is not 100 also.
always covers the negative side.
What do you think is happening with the angles? What do you think is the starting angle and what do you think is the ending angle?
144.
0 it is.
Okay, let me give you a clue, right?
One angle is at 0.
One angle is at 0. Fine. What about the other angles?
Other is 135. 135. 135. 135.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yes. No,
You
not
have to
exact.
take, you can be exact actually. That is why I said, right?
135.
The way to be exact is,
45?
you know what the starting shape is.
72.
144.
100 and
144.
So it is going from
154.
has to be right. If this point, instead of touching this point on the circle, is touching this point,
No. That point.
so this point stays here.
Yes.
This point is at,
144.
That point.
this point is at,
144.
correct. So it goes from this point to this point, then what is the angle change it is making? Starting is, so it is
77.
going to,
144.
would it have been possible to make that suggestion just by looking at this? When you looked at this, you never thought it is an angle change, right?
No, there also we have noticed. So we have done.
Great. So you noted it down, right? So note it down. Complete your observation, complete your notice and wonder, and then we'll move to the next steps. You think it is a circle, put it down. So you have more experiments. Anti-clockwise, what will you say in increasing or decreasing angles?
So only one
Increase.
Increases angle.
only one and open some.
Yeah.
Maybe it looks like that.
All the sides will.
All vertices are
All the
changing.
vertices. That is from 1 point.
All vertices are changing by 70.
Looks like that.
Sometimes when you are making an observation, right?
Sir, run it down.
Good enough? This one? Should we move on to code? Okay. Now keep your observations about this one handy, okay? Whatever you have noticed, keep those handy. Code has been purposefully made such that it has some part which is unknown and some parts which are known. Okay? Remember what I have posted yesterday. Focus on the parts that are known. Okay? Read the code. Identify which parts are known, which parts are unknown. There would be some parts which we understand, some parts which we don't understand. Notice is not explained. Notice is not explained. In your observation, yeah, what is it that is known to us? What is it that is not known to us? What of this we can understand? What of this we don't understand? What is it that we understand? Which parts of these are understandable? Which parts are not understandable? If there is only few items which are not understandable, just mention which parts. not try and make it about understanding the code. Try and make it about what is known versus what is not known. Here are those puzzles, right? Spot the differences. Like spot the unknowns.
Sir, angle between.
You first see the process, then done? Noted? Okay. Now looking at the code, I'll give you a hint. We saw what is basically happening to the change, right? From the output.
Yes.
We did that observation before. What did we determine in the previous observation? What is changing?
Angles are changing.
And they are changing from?
Increasing on 70.
Correct. Is there anything which we think as an experiment we should change here, which can slowly give us that shape?
Angle between the two words. Angle between two vortex.
2 points.
Good experiment. What if we make it 144?
No, directly. Instead of giving directly, we can give the increment. Rotational.
Let us not think. That is why I am saying, like, probably we are thinking things are rotating and all that kind of thing. So if something changes from 70 to 144, and we want to animate a change from 70 to 144, which method have we learned?
State.
Transitions. Right? Do we have everything that is required for transitions here? What is missing which is required for transitions?
Sequence.
Sequence.
72 वाजता सुरुवात January 1
So I have left those as empty. Can you tell me what should I fill in there?
72 and 144
No. 72 and again
140.
Okay. Now nothing is happening. Can you guess why? Okay. Let us go and probably look at the picture code. Can you think why it is probably not changing?
Angle between points 144 can
360.
Bag of
dash plus angle between. There we have to put the angle.
Where?
Dash.
Dash
Which?
Sir, we need to pass the state. Back.
So in sequence you'll have to mention that.
Where?
Down in the code, angle. Sorry,
Yeah.
Angle. No.
Wait.
Sir.
I'm confused alone.
Angle between full button stream dot iterate.
Here?
dash plus angle between. Dash is a Dash island.
Before that.
Can't we do it here?
Down. Before angle.
No, but can't we do it here?
Sir, do it there. Back. state of 0, back 0, back 0.
You tell me what I should tell.
Back 0.
Like this?
Without them also it was working. Because we are
Because I was not giving this value, right? I had made it 72.
Increment direct value person.
It was incrementing inside this bag, but this was saying 72, so I have kept it at 70.
Constant.
I have not said that value which is there inside the bag, right? You need to use that.
the previously it was working because it was specified and see we are defined 72 over there.
Exactly. Anyways, the point of this exercise, right, was not to understand what that iterate is. The point of this exercise is probably our solution doesn't lie in the part we don't understand. It lies in the part which we understand. If we look at something as a whole and try to understand everything, right, life gets complicated, right? What is the purpose of life? How much money should I make? Why did we, is God really there? Why did God create man? Why this happened to me? Why is his car better than mine? Right? How can I become rich? There is one common thing, right? The syllabus does talk about entrepreneurship. So I'll take a time to talk about that. Many people try to be entrepreneurs. So you know what they do? You end up meeting any people they come and attend the talks of how to be an entrepreneur and all this kind of stuff. So I met one of them once after a talk. He said for the last 2 years I have been attending a talk, right, on entrepreneurship. What do you think I should do to start my business? I was like, probably you should stop coming to talks like this. Don't come to talks like this. If you want to start a business, right? Stop coming to talks. And there are many other people, you meet them in a circle, right? Go to their houses, right? There are books on entrepreneurship, playlists full of entrepreneurship. They keep watching videos. It is easier to watch videos than ever start something. So they just keep watching. Every time, you know what? I watched that video. It was so thoughtful. It gave me points I am still thinking about it. Okay? So what do you want to start? I want to put a business that does this. Okay, great. Few months later, what happened? Now I watched another video. And he advised me not to put my own money in it. Okay? So what are you going to do?
I'm looking for someone who will give me.
Yeah, I'm looking for an investor. It's like some other video told him that. Again, a year later, how is your business doing? No, I haven't started it. Why? Because another financial guru on Instagram told me probably I should invest in mutual funds. Okay, so you must have invested in mutual funds, right? No. The market is too unstable right now. Okay, so when are you going to invest? Once it becomes stable. Okay, when is the market becoming stable, right? And this is a very common issue. The point is always to get started somewhere. Do some changing around, moving things, experimenting, trying and making sense of what changes. If things don't work, system will tell you it doesn't work. But the point is experimentation. We stressed on that even in the 6th standard, right? There are parts which we don't understand. They are by purpose. If I teach you 2 plus 2 is 4 and ask you what is 2 plus 2 and you say 4, that is not a test of it. If I ask you 2 plus 2 gives 4 and ask you what is 10 plus 12, then probably it is a test for it. Because that tells whether it is something you memorize or something you try and apply. That's the minor difference. There are things where you should apply, where you don't understand where to do it. And this is a very, very interesting pattern, and how people have tried and identified by finding patterns. And this is a very human nature. Do you know why we have constellations? How many constellations are there in sky? 12. There are 12 constellations in sky. Okay? Why? I'm not asking why 12, but why are they there? There is a constellation that looks like a question mark. Right? There is a constellation that probably looks something else, like a fish. Why? Why were people talking about it? You know what they were trying to do? They were exactly trying to do what we did here. It is so weird, right? If you go in the sky, and they were going on sea, right? They were traveling by sea. And they had to figure out where they are. Which direction are they going to? How far are they? They had to figure that out. Which hemisphere are they in? They had to figure those things out, and that is why they required a measure. And it was providing a good measure. But there was a problem. You can't just look at this guy and say, see, what you should do, you should stand up like this and you should find that star. Somebody is going to say, which star? And you can never be sure whether he is seeing the same star as you. Right? Nowadays it is probably possible की फक्त एक मंगळूच दिसता. बाकीचे light pollution. It never used to be so. It used to be like, at least in Goa, it used to be like pitch black, and you could go sleep on the terrace and count, how many stars you see. Imagine before this, right? It used to be like literally pitch black, and you will see sky full of stars. Now it is really difficult to see which star. So guess what they did? They came up with a very, very innovative idea. Just like this, right? Because if I had probably put some 72 there or something like that, right? It would have looked so confusing, right? The depth angle between 2 points is rather understandable than just having that height, weight and all that kind of stuff in between. Just like that, you realize probably bag is a better word to understand than a state. Because we don't say states everywhere in life, but bag we carry bags everywhere, right? What was the other example that we looked at? Probably writing a contract like this and composing those things were much more difficult than using a tree. Why is that so? Why is that so? It's because our brain is created like that, right? So what they did, you cannot pinpoint a particular star and say that is the star I am looking at. So they came up with a very innovative idea. They started finding a very distinctive pattern that those stars make. And they came across some pattern. Then they were drawing those patterns. And if you had to identify that star, right, you have to show that pattern to someone, ask him to look up and find that pattern. The person will exactly find that pattern and then tell him, see the third star. That is more understandable. So people created constellations. They can correctly find out where things are, what time of the day it is, and all that kind of stuff. It's surprisingly pretty interesting how those things happen, right? Today it's no longer practice because we have calendars, we have watches, and then we have all those things happening on the phone and things telling us. Today it is more like a hobby. Astronomy is more like hobby. earlier astronomy was more like a way of living. You had to know it in order to have a job. Just like we talk about English today, right? You had to know astronomy, otherwise you can't sail ships. Just like we have programmers, right? We required people who could read the sky. Amazing, right? How things used to be. So there are representations of the problems. And guess what? People used to ask questions. Why are those stars there? Who put them there? And every culture, right, has pondered over it. And there were no better measures to calculate all that kind of stuff. So they kept telling stories over the parts they don't understand. So it's very rich. Right? If you are reading any of the literature, right, over the years, you can see how people change their minds. It's a very interesting study. So how does it apply here? I was relating to the part we used to say before, right? We are not trying to teach coding, neither are we trying to teach mathematics. We are trying to say how the same things could be seen. A line can be imagined in multiple ways. How can I imagine a line? How did we imagine a line in Scratch? Can you guess? Right? You can probably start it somewhere, then you will say pen down, turn in a particular direction, walk these many steps. Beside that, right? And a turtle used to move. How we did it in Kojo? There were two ways, turtle ways also, right? So you can say forward, turn, forward, and you will draw your line. Great. There is another way, picture method. You can say picture dot line, and that imagines it as the length and the height. You have seen it, right? Shown, picture dot line. Just like picture dot rect, there is picture dot line. So you say what is the x value of it and what is the y value of it, and it will exactly draw a line between those 2 points starting from 0. It will always start it from 0. So it is sort of mention it. And then what is really common between them, right, is we are sort of talking between 2 points. One point is always 0, 0, and then there is another point. Okay? And then we have this, where we try and imagine points again as angles and their distances. So you turn in a particular direction and move. And that is what you see there. You turn in the angle given to you and move by 100. That is what this is. So same set of language having different set of representations. And they are helpful sometimes. Okay? But one quick thing I want to show is a process around Bezier curves. Bezier curve is something that is actually difficult to trace properly on paper. Squares are very easy. You can mark the points and you just need to connect them. Arcs are also very easy. It is basically a circle around it. But curves are little more complicated. So you can't really solve it correctly on the paper. There is no. So let us do it together. And let us draw a curve. Alright? Anyone remembers the Bezier syntax? There are two ways of doing it. We'll try and do it in both the methods. One is, let us say shape. Okay? Picture dot from path. This x, right, I don't keep it as x. You know why? Because the x may come again if we are calculating x and y. So I always change it to shape. And then we draw it. Obviously it won't draw it. What I want to do, I'll tell you, right, is I want to draw a shape I'll start from minus 200 and I will go till 200 and then I want to make a curve. Okay? So it is really difficult to imagine how we want this to happen. So here is the process. One is obviously you want to say, what should I move to? I have to move my starting point. What did I say my starting point was? Okay, no, I can't make this shape because this is also shape, so I'll say this. S dot move to what? What did I mention is starting state? Where I wanted to start? Minus 200, right? Minus 200, comma 0. And how do I make a curve? S dot curve 2. Now it takes 4 points, okay? And even this is confusing for me, so I always combine them together in multiple lines, right? So 2 points, end point. Now what is my end point? 200 comma 0. So I have 1 point here, minus 200 comma 0, another point at 200 comma 0. What I do before I get started is I set 1 point, that is the starting control point, to what is my starting point. What is my starting point? So I'll set the same point here. And I'll match my second control point to what is my ending point, which is, now why did I do that?
Draw a line.
Get the line, red line.
It gave me the line. Now let us try and find what do we need to do with the first point. That depends on what we want to achieve. So, this is the line I have. Okay, my starting point and first control point is here. My ending point and second control point is here. Okay? What I want to do, I'll take 2 examples of this. Okay? I want to make it something like this. Where do you think my control point should go to achieve this shape? It is here right now. Where do you think it should go?
Beyond minus 200 and up.
So it should go leftwards
And up.
and up. Slightly leftwards and up. So leftward means I need to start subtracting from my first control point on the x side and adding to the y side of the first control point. So let us do that. So this is the first control point, right? This is the first control point. I can put a comment here. Required. Okay? What should I do to the x side here? Decrease, which is minus, right? Minus 100, let us say. And on the y side, I need to increment. So plus 100. Almost there. Should we just stretch it a bit more?
Plus 200.
100 असे जड करतात.
Yes. A little more here. Is that correct one? Okay? There is another point here. Right? What I want to do is I want to move it like this. So it's bit more smoother. Try to make it bit more smoother. It is coming down a slight earlier before touching the point. So what is happening to the second control point, which is here? Second control point is here. Can you guess what is happening to
It
it?
is coming towards left.
It is coming leftwards. Is it going up?
No.
Going down?
No, it is on the
Going
same,
leftwards.
same line.
So let us try and again subtract from the second control point for the x-axis. Little more. Nah.
It is changing the left hand side.
Is this better now? More accurate? Cool. So that is the process. You first match the two control points so you get a line, and then decide whether they should move towards the right and up or left and down.
Sir, but it is changing the left hand side of
It is
slightly.
which left hand side?
That
No, changing the second control point slightly. Slightly.
200 minus 200 0 जाते.
Now minus 400.
Oh, that one, 200 minus 200. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Second one.
minus 400.
No, second one.
Now what I'm trying to achieve, right, is if I have this as a line, again, minus 200 comma 0, from here till here, 200 comma 0, the shape I'm trying to achieve is this. So again, I'll get rid of this, and again I have my straight line going up. Sorry, what did I do? Yeah, that's a straight line. Now what do you think is happening to the first control point?
going towards right hand side.
First control point is going towards right and up or down?
Up.
Up, right?
So we have to add
You have to add
by some
Add 300.
to 200 or 300. And
Up by?
150.
Again add.
guess, right? It's probably just a guess.
150.
I'll just say 300 pounds. Okay? Okay, that looks like that. What is happening with the second control point?
Towards left.
Left hand side.
Second control point
So I'll do exact opposite of what we did here.
minus.
Minus this person. आता minus this person.
Now,
Second control point.
both are up, right? Both the points are up. So this didn't help. I'll double this up.
To get knot.
To get a knot.
Slightly down. So 200.
So 600 and minus 600.
Okay, that also is
What happens if I make this as minus 600 and this as plus 600?
It will go
Round.
Okay. Now if I change this from minus 600 to 600 plus 600 And if I change this from plus 600 to minus 600?
Not.
No.
Correct. So if I make this plus, and if I make this minus, I get a knot. So can I make a very interesting animation with this?
Yeah.
Starting from that shape and composing into a knot. Should we try it? We know two things, right? This one changes from 600. Take a look at this. This one changes from 600 to minus 600. Or it starts from minus 600 and goes to 600. And this one starts from minus 600 and goes to plus 600. Right? What happens here? It goes from minus to plus. And this goes from plus to minus. This goes from plus to
Minus.
minus. Correct. So how should we go about it?
Start.
How many states do we need? One that goes from minus 600 to plus 600. Another one that goes from plus 600 to minus 600. Right? So, what is the process? We did it once, right?
Back.
Okay. First process that we do is consider this to be a changing value. Correct? So how is this value changing? No, I mean, like, we need to give it a name. We are providing the process now.
Back.
The process is, this is the left control point, this is the right control point, right? So we'll say left and put it here. Right? And because we have put it there, we'll also put it here, 600. And run it and make sure everything is fine. Same process we followed earlier. Okay, nothing happens to the y side. This one is also the external process for us. And this one is actually minus 600. So I'll change it like this. So this is plus of minus 600. Okay. So this whole thing, I'll give it a name. Right. And right. Double. And I'll paste the value here. Output is still the same, no errors. What is the third step from it? Is to change this to sequences. Correct? So we say, as a comment, if we change this to sequences, left will become bag of 0 and right will become bag of 1 in that order. 0, 1, 0, 1 and so on. So wherever I see left, I'll first put bag of 0. Wherever I see right, I'll put bag of 1. Then I'll change this to bag, the whole thing to bag, and say sequence of double. And down here, I'll put this whole thing inside sequence. And if this works, we are good. Now our shape is ready to be used inside a transition. What is the next process? Get rid of draw and say transition. use autocomplete. And again, because I find it difficult to understand, I'll put this on a separate line. Okay. Duration. What should I put as a duration? 5. From state, there are two values I need to pass, right? The first one was changing from minus 600 to 600. So the first one is minus 600. First one was somewhere here, right? Minus 600 to start with. And the second one was somewhere here. That is the positive 600. Second state, sorry, that is a 2 state, is where I want this not to be. Which is the first value was positive and the second value is negative. Using linear. Which is the peak maker?
Shape.
And this is called. Obviously it won't run. Because I haven't said run.
Sir, we could have done it in one this only state.
I could do it in one state also.
Plus and minus.
Yeah, I'll just change this and put a minus there all the way. That also works. What if I change the easing? And you can have a lot of other things. This is more like a rubber band. Everyone got it? At least, काय करतोय ऑलरेडी झालं होतं फक्त ऍक्टिव्हिटी करायची पाहिजे फक्त अपलोड करा तो ही गेम वर So we'll give you even more. Now you ask for it. We'll happily give you more. Earlier today we thoughtfully gave you more. Now in 2 days everybody had done looking like 25 pages. There was a process. So I am the first time to the starting point. This is the starting point. And second control point to the ending level. Then I am defining them with respect to those. So it is easier to imagine above what, below what. That is to take the y part of the control point down. We have a control point here. This control point you need to bring here and up. Here means add, positive direction. Add and up means add. So adding on both. Back is this side. Back one is this side. Actually, the minus plus back is one umbrella, but the value. Whatever has happened, right? We have covered the entire curriculum by now. Everything is finished. We started with values, contracts, sequences, transitions, trains, and music.
When to use def and when to use well. VAS. Well.
Prefer to use def always.
But what's the difference?
There would be a risk I'll need to take in an attempt to explain the programming difference.
Sir, it is interesting because shifted forward
Not much. Basically the same. Choose which one is better for you. First one looks like a nice expression. Draw, takes animation and gives you, right? And then you have another picture.
Shut down.